Authority Social Health Western Lane Ambulance District to order. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mary, can you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Director Polisi. Director Mondolia.
Here.
Director Heppel.
Present.
Director Burns.
Yep.
Director Spade.
Here.
Director Russell.
Here.
Director Murphy.
Here.
Director Holbrook. Director Buss.
Here.
Director Webb.
Here.
WLFEA Director. Director Polisi. Director Spade.
Here.
Director Murphy.
Here.
Director Webb.
Here. Yes, microphone's working. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, we have quorums present. Dina, did anybody sign up for public speaking?
No public speakers tonight.
Thank you. So consent agenda consists of meeting minutes from January 27th, staff reports and correspondence. Would any director like to pull something out of the consent agenda? Hearing none, we'll have the consent agenda approved as printed. Matt, we'll talk about call volumes.
Yeah, call summary for both districts, EMS call volume ran 311 calls more for this fiscal year, 235 more transports than last fiscal year, and 55 more inter-facility transfers than last fiscal year. We're averaging 12.6% calls per day. Of those 12.6 calls per day, 2.3 of those are inter-facility transfers. Granted, it doesn't always work up to 2.3. Sometimes we do 7 in a day, sometimes we do 1 in a day, but we're generally pretty much fixed and we're doing a facility transfer. So we definitely continue to be running our call volume still higher than normal. And on the fire side, our call volumes again continue to show higher, mainly because of our EMS upgrades that we've done over the last couple of years. Any questions?
So I put it in my chief's report. We talked about the how we responded, not the details of the call and shooting, but our response. Apparatus and such.
Oh, I think when we talked about it too, this is exactly, as a chief officer, I'm very happy because not only did we deal with 3 homicides that ended up being fatals, but we had 2 interfacility transfers going on at the same time. Another call came in this area that the engine went for first response and lower Umpqua came up for mutual aid. Is exactly how a system should run when you're in a surge environment, pull from resources within and outside to help out. We also had a unit from LFA come out to assist with us. Unfortunately, we had really bad comms at the time, so I didn't even hear them. Chief Borland came up to me on the scene and kind of tapped me like, ah, and he goes, yes, I'm like, no, we're good. You know, but in a full circle, when you look at it from that 60-foot view, I was very pleased we were able to handle everything and get back in service. And I think that's the epitome of when we look over the last 2 years and the work we've done to develop the fire side EMS to get stronger, and then also playing well with each other.
Are we getting more and more two buses out of town at the same time?
We've changed the way that we do our transfers. So transfers are prioritized, which we call priority dispatching, which is alpha, which is essentially a low acuity transfer going from hospital to a residence or a care facility. A Bravo is another going to an interfacility, higher care facility. And it's not time sensitive. Charlie becomes time sensitive, like a non-STEMI and non-ST elevation heart attack. And then Delta is critical care. So as we prioritize them, we would talk to the hospital saying that when we have Bravo level transfers only out of the area, we will only take one at a time. So then that keeps some of our resources. Now, a Charlie level or a Delta comes in, then we can handle that. And we're not, stuck in this Bravo level transfer train.
Right,
So we can handle the emergencies as they come in to get the patients to higher level care.
but are we getting more of the dual, a couple of Charlies or Deltas at the same time more now lately, or it's just
It really seems to be between 5 PM and 9 PM. I've seen us have 4 transfers at one time in that time. But usually in that time period, it seems that we have more multiple transports at the same time to other facilities.
okay.
Any other questions?
We're trying to get Jim Lisi in. I think he's trying to log into Teams. That screenshot he sent us looks like, does that look like Microsoft Teams? Yeah, that's good. Okay, we'll work on that. The financials.
Yeah, thank you, Chief. First, I wanted to give you an update on the audits. Mark and Kathy from Emerald CPA Group were planning on being here tonight, but they've postponed since they're still working on them. SVFR is done, but they're still working on Western Lane and the authority. I did talk to another auditor recently, and I told him, that our audits were taking a long time to get done. He said that's not uncommon for auditors to file extensions during these times. It's almost become standard. So hopefully Mark and Kathy will be here next month to go over them with you. Before I open it up for questions, I'd like to go over the resolutions that are in your board packet for the appropriation transfers. The first one, let's start with Siuslaw Valley. It has a transfer for the 3 firefighters that were hired this year and a transfer for the 6% PERS IAP that got missed in the budget. Does any director have any questions on this resolution?
I got a question, Dina. This is Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say we missed it in the budget?
Yes, I budgeted for the PERS pension, but I neglected to budget for the PERS individual retirement account, which is additional.
The firefighters we plan to take out contingency from the very beginning. Okay. So we need a motion to approve that resolution.
Siuslaw Fire Board, we have a resolution on the table, resolution 2022-01. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the motion for revising the budget for fiscal year 2022.
Thank you.
That was Sam Spade.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you. All those in favor respond by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? So moved.
So the resolution for Western Lane has transfers for the 3 purchases the board approved at previous board meetings. They include the hands-free CPR devices, the AccuVein finders, and the cardiac defibrillators. Are there any questions on this one?
Hello, can people hear me?
Yeah.
Director Polisi?
Yeah, I'm here on my cell phone, but for whatever reason, I can't get in on the links via SVFR. I don't know what's wrong. I had to dial in this way, but I'm here.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Any discussion? Your motion?
I'd like a motion to approve resolution 2022-01.
I will second Mr. Webb's motion.
So we have a first and a second, a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Anything else, Dan?
Is there any questions on the other financial reports tonight?
Yeah, Dina, Director Spade, I've got a question for you. When our personnel go TDY, are they on a per diem or they just take a credit card and whatever they expend, they put in for whatever the expense is?
I didn't hear the first part.
So explain what you mean by TDY for.
I'm sorry.
Explain what you mean by
For
TDY.
the temporary duty somewhere off station here where they're staying in a hotel and getting meals and stuff like that.
For like training or? For
I don't know, or whatever, I'm just asking. a question.
Training, then, yeah, we use per diem, the federal per diem rate for Eugene for us. If you're on a con flag, then con flag pays for all that.
Sometimes it's when I see somebody's go on temporary duty somewhere, I see that they submit bills for like eating out and then for hotels and stuff like that. Now, is that somehow controlled, or do they just go and Outback Steakhouse and spend $95 for a meal?
I think they get $29 for dinner.
How much?
$29 maximum for the,
Okay, so there is a limit to it.
yeah, it's the GSA federal per diem rate for our area.
Okay.
Lounge is unlimited.
Oh, yeah.
Our employees didn't fly for United, so we have control of it.
We got $1.20 an hour. Okay, that's all, the only question I had. Thank you very much.
Good, oh, sure, good question. Any other questions on finances? No old business tonight, new business. Education tools.
In the board packet, there was an agenda item for approval. Site fire response to multiple motor vehicle accidents require tools to perform life safety functions. Since I've taken over operations chief, we've had multiple failures with replacement, so they've definitely reached their end of life. The tools range in age from 15 years to 20 years. We've done well in replacing them and keeping them in service for response right now, but it's why we have a little bit of extra capital. It was looked at and what we can do to replace them. And this will also go on the engine for a more durable first response with the extrication tools. So through the competitive bid process, and that should have been in the board packet too, we came down to the first tools. And then if you look at the agenda item, I did like I have in the past is outlined where the money would come from. So the recommended appropriations of $43,899.50 would come from the capital fund. Any questions?
Just a clarification, this is SVFR.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Chief House, this is stuff that will be going on one engine or could move back and forth or work.
So battery operated tools, they're a lot more versatile. We don't have a pump that's fixed like in our rescue rig. We have a pump that's fixed with fixed hydraulic lines that extend out 200 feet. So this gives more versatility to our engine. And if that engine goes down, we can easily move them to our surplus engine or backup engine.
That's what I was curious about. Thank you.
Yeah, these are much lighter.
Silasala Valley Fire and Rescue Board, we have a request that we appropriate to First and Rescue 42 in the amount of $43,899.50. Any questions for Chief House? Can I entertain a motion?
We would accept the motion to buy the equipment.
Thank you, Sam. Do I have a second?
Police second.
Please say second. All those in favor respond by aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
So you opposed?
He was just late.
Oh, well, okay. It moved. Motion approved. Thank you.
You're in favor, right, Jim? I don't want to speak for you. So moving on to the next new business item, appoint budget committee members for SVFR. We have 2 openings on SVFR budget committee, and we have 1 application. We've still got it in the paper. We're looking, we're talking to people. If you know anybody that might be interested, we can certainly talk to anybody. But we have an application from Stephanie Restrepo. This will be for a three-year term, correct? Tina?
Correct.
This will be for a 3-year term on the SVFR budget committee.
But from my standpoint, Chief, as I said, we have 2 openings and 1 applicant. She's on.
Okay. Do we need to have a motion to approve it or?
Just a consensus, I think is fine.
any
Aye.
issues with-
I'd like to say something about Stephanie. I've worked in projects with her, and she gets more done by 8 o'clock in the morning than I do all day. I know she had that.
Good.
Good answer.
Yeah, that would be good. So, anybody opposed to Stephanie? Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for Western Lane, we had 4 openings and we have 4 applicants. We tried to get a better geographical representation. So, first applicant, Jim Yao, he's actually the fire chief for Swiss Home Deadwood. Rick Yesney, he lives close by. George Lighting, also a Swiss Home a resident, former Western Lane employee. And then Pat Stewart. I think, I don't know Pat, I've never met her, but I think everybody else knows who
She
Pat
worked at
is.
Human Resources and,
Been here forever.
Yeah.
she was at Peace Corps.
She worked for Priest County.
She worked for
Dawn Stewart.
Lane Hospital too.
Yeah. So is there any issue with any of the candidates for Western Lane Budget Committee? Okay, they're all 4 approved, Ian.
Great, thank you.
Sure. So,
So who's our other person? Did we have just 4 people? 4
now there's
positions?
5. Who's the 5th member on the Budget Committee?
Mr. Salisbury, he was new, he started last year, I believe. Tim Salisbury.
Last year or the year before?
Yeah, you're right. It was the year before. He served two
He's
years.
here for a while. Yeah, he's been here for a while. So now, Director Murphy asked a question about what will the board look like on July 1 when we do move operations people to WLFEA. And good question. And it's up to the board. What the state says is that if 2 boards form an authority, they decide what they want the structure to look like. So if you wanted to stay with the 4 board members that form WLFEA, you could do that. We could have all 10. LFA has 10 board members show up.
I prefer all 10 of us,
That would be my recommendation, that everybody continues.
because that's where the majority of our business is going to be after the budget cycle's over.
And in my mind, you still have a responsibility to make sure that EMS is provided correctly to
Right.
the Western Lake District. And you have fire responsibility. So that would be my recommendation, but it's up to the boards.
Because at this point, that's what we were voted in for. We were elected
Yes.
to be on these separate boards. And we are still 2 separate boards.
Correct, that is correct. And then if we ever go to a merger and citizens approve a new district, then it would be up to the 10 of you to decide which 5 would be directors. And that's spelled out in state law. 3 for a 2-year, 1-year term and 2 for a 2-year term. So then you get your rotation.
Well, for whatever it's worth, Chief Schick, from my point of view, I concur with John. It's either all 10 of us or none of us.
So how would we delineate the 4 people that are on the WLFEA board now?
Come July 1, it's all 10 of us.
It's all 10, or just go from a 4 to 10?
Well, we still have to have a WLFEA board. But that's appointed, each board appoints 2 people to be on the WLFEA board.
I guess my question would be to you, if I may, Sam.
Sure.
Why wouldn't the 10 of us be welfare?
You'd have to change the IGA to do that, which you certainly could.
Yeah, because that's the impression that I got from John, is that we would pick, welfare would be the 10 of us versus the 4 of us.
Not right now.
Not right now, no. Come July 1, welfare will be 10.
We'll have to modify the IGA, which is easy to do.
Is that what you were thinking? Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what my impression was, come July 1, welfare will be theoretically both boards combined. We'd still have our separate entities, but welfare will be 10 board members, 5 from.
So it'll still be a joint board meeting, all 3
Correct.
boards. And then when we do roll call, everybody will be called twice.
Correct.
You got that, Dina, we'll have to amend the IGA.
Apologize, everybody, I just.
Yeah, we can bring that to the board next month.
Yeah, there's no hurry. But just-
Okay,
We'll have our attorney write it up, so we know it's all Right. Illegal, yeah, for 10 board members. Cool. So now we have the opportunity for, unless there's any new business, opportunity for directors to comment on topics not on the agenda. I don't know if Director Webb or Director Heppel would like to talk about today's negotiations, how they went.
Night today compared to last time.
Yes.
Is that good?
That's good.
Oh, that's great.
That was nice.
There's no worry, but yeah, but
No, but that's great.
it's actually the atmosphere was much better.
We reached tentative agreements on 26 articles. We got 11 to go, 11 big ones to go. We delivered a financial proposal to them, which, yeah, like I was telling you, we're about 9 months ahead of last time. So, we still have some big hurdles to get over. I mean, I'm not minimizing what we have left to do, but it is so much nicer this year.
Good.
Wonder why.
Chief, I've got a couple items, Director Spade.
Absolutely.
Monday, I went to the ceremony for Sarah Sussman at the hospital, and Chief House did a great job of coordinating and making a nice presentation on her. I guess Cindy was there and Vanessa, and I thought it was really nice that they did that.
Yeah.
To recognize her. And then on Wednesday, I sat in on the interviews for new fireman positions.
Yeah.
Sit in one of those, and then I came up here and did, which was very interesting, did the hands-on.
The skills assessment, yeah.
For them, and that was very good. I encourage if we have that in the future, that other board directors try to take some time and go do that. It didn't take very long at all. To go around the different stations.
It really helps us to have directors there, just so we can have, other eyes
It
on.
was very interesting, and educational for me, because after it's over with, then I played with the dummy and figured out how some stuff worked too. So I wasn't the dummy.
We're always looking for volunteer firefighters. I mean, you'd have to resign as director.
Yeah. Too old for that. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Other comments?
Yes, I'd like to make one. I'd like to thank Tony. So we had a fire inspection at the Boys and Girls Club today. And as a new CEO and a brand new team, he did a phenomenal job of walking around, educating, and elevating our awareness around safety. It was really fantastic. So thank you for that today.
Oh, good. Good to hear. And that's what the word we try to get out. We're here to help. We're not here to punish. And he doesn't carry a big stick with him. For the most part. A little bit, yeah. So, we are really here. He's really here to help. Good job. Other comments? Okay. We can adjourn if you guys want to hit your gavels.
All this meeting adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.